For years, Stranger Things has made you fear monsters with claws and teeth. It's a show built on 80s nostalgia, Dungeons and Dragons, and things that go bump in the night. But what if the show's creators have been playing a long game with us? What if they've masterfully hidden the ultimate truth in plain sight, making you fear the creature in the dark when you should have been looking inward? The monsters from the Upside Down are terrifying, yes, but what they represent is even scarier. Because in this theory, the Upside Down isn't just a place. It's a powerful metaphor for the dark, repressed corners of the human mind. The key to unlocking this hidden layer is to rethink the show's central battleground, the Upside Down. We're led to believe it's a physical, parallel dimension that mirrors our own world. But what if it's not just a place? What if it's also a state of being? The show drops clues everywhere. It's a world frozen in time, specifically on the day Will Byers vanished. It's dark, cold, eerily silent, and decaying, overgrown with vines that seem to choke the life out of everything. This isn't just a spooky alternate reality. It's a perfect metaphor for the mind after a traumatic event. Psychologically, trauma can freeze you in a single moment, leaving you emotionally stuck in the past. It's an isolating experience, a shadow world that looks like your reality but feels dead and disconnected. The silence of the Upside Down could reflect the unspeakable nature of pain and the way trauma can steal your voice. When the characters describe the Upside Down, they're also describing the landscape of depression, PTSD, and grief. It's the shadow self, a concept from Jungian psychology representing the parts of ourselves we deny and push away. And just like in the show, the more you repress that darkness, the more it threatens to bleed into your reality. No monster makes this theory clearer than VECNA. He isn't just a monster who uses trauma. He's an allegory for what trauma becomes when it's left to fester. Unlike the animalistic Demogorgon, VECNA is a psychological predator. He doesn't hunt at random. He specifically targets those already suffering from a deep emotional wound, one that is curdled into guilt, shame, and self-blame. Take Max. Her brother Billy's death left her drowning in survivor's guilt. VECNA doesn't just attack her. He becomes the embodiment of her worst inner critic, whispering the darkest thoughts she already has about herself. He finds the crack in her psyche and pries it open. The same goes for Nancy, who still carries the guilt of Barb's death from all the way back in season 1. VECNA is the physical manifestation of that nagging feeling that it was all her fault. His methods are a terrifyingly accurate depiction of how depression and PTSD can operate. They isolate you, force you to relive your worst moments, and convince you that you're utterly alone. But it's his origin as Henry Creel that really seals the deal. He wasn't born a monster. He was an isolated, rejected boy whose pain and rage transformed him. Banished by 11, he was literally sent to a dimension of pure psychological energy, where his own trauma physically reshaped him into the monster he is today. He's the terrifying end result of pain that is never processed, only weaponized. Now, let's rewind to the beginning, to the monster that started it all, the Demogorgon. On the surface, it's a mindless beast, a predator driven by instinct. But looking through this lens, it becomes something much more symbolic. The Demogorgon is drawn to blood, tearing holes between worlds where violence has occurred. It's a solitary hunter that rips its victims from their lives, leaving behind nothing but confusion and loss. In this light, the Demogorgon is a metaphor for sudden predatory grief. It's the brute force of an unexpected loss that tears a hole in your reality. It doesn't reason, it just takes. Think about its first victim, Will Byers, pulled into a world of darkness. It's a powerful image for how a child can be swallowed by a traumatic event they can't possibly comprehend. The monster's relentless pursuit feels just like the inescapable shock and pain of that initial blow. Even its flower-like head, which peels back to reveal rows of teeth, is symbolic. It's the horrifying truth hidden beneath a seemingly normal world. The violence that can erupt when you least expect it. If the Demogorgon represents the initial impact, the Mind Flayer is the chronic illness that follows. After Will is rescued, he isn't free. He's infected. He has flashbacks he calls now memories, a chillingly accurate description of how PTSD forces you to re-experience trauma as if it's happening all over again. The Mind Flayer is a perfect symbol for this lingering, invasive nature of trauma. It's not a physical predator in the same way. It's a shadow monster, a virus of the mind that seeks to colonize and control its host. It spreads like an infection, using Will as a spy against his own friends and family. This perfectly mirrors how trauma can make you feel like a stranger in your own body, your thoughts no longer your own. In Season 3, the Mind Flayer finds a new host in Billy, exploiting his existing rage and pain to twist him into a puppet. The way it builds a physical monster from the flayed is a grotesque metaphor for how unresolved pain can consume people, merging them into a collective monstrous despair. So, if the monsters are powerful allegories for trauma, then the show isn't just a horror story, it's a roadmap for healing. Every victory the characters achieve isn't just about defeating a monster, but about confronting the psychological wound that monster represents. Think about how they fight VECNA. He preys on isolation and guilt. Max only escapes when she hears her favorite song, a lifeline from her friends pulling her back to reality. This isn't just a quirky plot device. It's a beautiful metaphor for how connection is the antidote to the isolation of depression. Her friends are literally a guiding force, helping her escape the destruction happening in her own mind. The group's motto, "Friends Don't Lie," becomes the central thesis for healing. Honesty, vulnerability, and community are their greatest weapons. Eleven's journey is the ultimate example. Her powers were born from the trauma inflicted on her at Hawkins' lab. It's only when she accepts her past and draws strength from the love of her friends that she can truly face down Henry Creel. Her healing comes from connection, not just power. They survive not by being fearless, but by finding the courage to confront their own darkness together. The beauty of Stranger Things is how it operates on so many levels. The monsters are real, the threat is real, but the meaning behind them might be even more profound. So I have to ask you, which character's trauma do you think is portrayed the most accurately and why? Is it Max's survivor's guilt, Will's lingering PTSD, or Eleven's struggle to build an identity outside her painful past? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the end, maybe the lie of Stranger Things is its greatest gift. It gave us literal monsters to fear, so we could learn how to face the ones inside ourselves. The Upside Down isn't just some far-off dimension. It's a reflection of the darkness we all carry. The grief, the guilt, the fear. And the monsters are the shapes that darkness takes when we refuse to look at it. The show's ultimate message isn't about closing a gate or destroying a hive mind. It's about the very human journey of turning to face the shadows inside, not with weapons, but with honesty, courage, and the friends who remind us we aren't alone in the dark. It's about bringing our own upside down back into the light.